Hello and welcome back to another in-depth weather video. Today we are talking about another severe threat, this time in parts of Arkansas and Missouri, but seems like it's going to be mostly in Arkansas, but that doesn't mean that other areas aren't going to be seeing severe weather. So this is the Storm Prediction Center page, and we are looking at their categorical outlook for severe weather. So we do have enhanced slight and marginal risks of severe weather. We have an enhanced risk across 32,172 square miles and a population of 1.2 million people, including Jonesboro, Arkansas, Conway, Arkansas, Russellville, Arkansas, Paragould, Arkansas, and Searcy, Arkansas. We have slight risk across 113,370 square miles and a population of 11.9 million people, including Memphis, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Fayette, Kentucky, and Little Rock, Arkansas. We have a marginal risk across 162,771 square miles and a population of 22.6 million people, including Dallas, Texas, Indianapolis, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio, Fort Worth, Texas, and Nashville, Tennessee. Now, in terms of our tornado risk, we do have up to a 10% chance and a significant severe threat. So in that significant severe threat, we have 22,048 square miles and a population of 760,614 people, including Conway, Arkansas, Russellville, Arkansas, Searcy, Arkansas, Harrison, Arkansas, and Mountain Home, Arkansas. We have a 10% risk across 32,048 square miles and a population of 1.2 million people, including Jonesboro, Arkansas, Conway, Arkansas, Russellville, Arkansas, Paragould, Arkansas, and Searcy, Arkansas. We have a 5% risk across 38,768 square miles and a population of 2.7 million people, including Little Rock, Arkansas, Evansville, Indiana, Fort Smith, Arkansas, North Little Rock, Arkansas, and Hot Springs, Arkansas. Finally, we have a 2% risk across 91,303 square miles and a population of 10.6 million people, including Memphis, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, and Lexington, Fayette, Kentucky. In terms of winds, they roughly correlate to our risk. So if you're in a marginal risk, you have a 30% chance of high winds, slight risk 15%, and a 5% risk if you're in marginal. In hail, we have a 15% risk across 20,915 square miles and a population of 1.3 million people, including Fort Smith, Arkansas, Fayetteville, Arkansas, Springdale, Arkansas, Rogers, Arkansas, and Bentonville, Arkansas. We have a 5% risk across 102,862 square miles and a population of 6.6 million people, including Memphis, Tennessee, Little Rock, Arkansas, Springfield, Missouri, North Little Rock, Arkansas, and Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is not just a one-day threat, though. We do have a second day where we do have slight and marginal risk. We have a slight risk across 126,131 square miles and a population of 13.2 million people, including Nashville, Tennessee, Lexington, Fayette, Kentucky, Birmingham, Alabama, Knoxville, Tennessee, and Huntsville, Alabama. We also have a marginal risk across 137,804 square miles and a population of 19.5 million people, including Memphis, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Louisville, Kentucky, and Montgomery, Alabama. We have a 2% chance of tornadoes across 123,236 square miles and a population of 14.1 million people, including Nashville, Tennessee, Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Fayette, Kentucky, Birmingham, Alabama, and Knoxville, Tennessee. High winds correlate to the slight and marginal risk, so 15% in slight risk and 5% in marginal risk, and there is less than 5% chance of hail in the second day of the severe threat. So let's take a look at this severe threat in its entirety, looking at the HRRR in the Ohio Valley section here. But we're going to start over here. This is the far west section of this severe threat, and you can see this starting to come into play, some sporadic thunderstorms, but most of them not as severe as what we're going to see next, which is what comes up out of Texas and Oklahoma and eventually into Arkansas. As this low pressure is passing, we have a cold front here, and that is going to bring up that Gulf moisture into the higher ends of the atmosphere, creating those supercells. And we also have that cold air and that difference in winds that creates shear that could create tornadoes. So you can see the main threat here. This is right around noon. Noon on Monday. No, not noon. This is right around midnight Monday, Eastern Time, at 11 p.m. Central Time on Sunday. And as we see, now we're at midnight central. You can see that this severe threat is really starting to ramp up. 1 a.m., we're still seeing it move through Arkansas, Missouri, with that low pressure still moving north and east. That's the main thing about this storm. Instead of yesterday where our severe threat was moving pretty quickly, this severe threat is going to be moving very slow in comparison, as this low pressure is kind of taking more of a northeasterly track instead of a more easterly track. So we are going to be seeing severe weather in Arkansas continuing for probably about, let's see, that's about 9 to 12 hours before it starts to move into Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Alabama throughout the day on Monday into Tuesday, when this eventually crosses the Appalachians and starts to slow down. So let's take a look at our mixed layer cape, which is basically the energy that is available for these thunderstorms. And you can see here that we're already looking at potentially 500 to 1,000 joules per kilogram before this event really starts. This has been in place because of the system that we were talking about yesterday. But we start to see more of these blues pop up, which is over 1,000 joules per kilogram of energy. And we can even see maybe even close to 1,500 to 2,000 joules per kilogram of energy. So plenty of energy coming from this system, and we could see all of this kind of amass in Arkansas for a prolonged period of time before that section of thunderstorms rolls through. And then we see a little bit of a recharge here, not much, but a little bit in Tennessee and Alabama as well. Mostly there in Alabama, where you could see more of that 1,000 plus joules per kilogram of energy. Now let's take a look at our significant tornado parameter, which is a combination of different models here. If you want to pause and take a look at that yellow box, that is the technical definition, but we kind of look at it as kind of like a Torcon like they use on the Weather Channel. So it ranks things 1 through 10 or 0 through 10 at the risk of tornadoes. So you can see these blue areas are over 1. So we're already seeing that in parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and even in Oklahoma, we're even seeing over 2, as well as parts of Arkansas getting close up to 2 as well. But in Arkansas, we could see areas here 3.2, 3.1, and eventually a widespread area of 2 to 3, and then potentially even areas getting close to 4, maybe even over that, getting into 4 to 5 on that Torcon. That is a 5 out of 10. So potentially in areas such as any of these areas in that red and orange in Arkansas are the areas that could be seeing tornadoes throughout the day. Then we move into our secondary threat here in Tennessee and Kentucky, where you could see a 1 to 2 on that Torcon type value. And then eventually we see a little bit of a recharge in parts of Alabama, where you could see up to 1 or 2 there. So overall, a potential significant severe threat in parts of Arkansas in general, as well as parts of Missouri as well, very southern Missouri. As this next system, which I'll talk about the wintry impact soon, but this next system will be bringing in plenty of Gulf moisture, as well as having a good pull on some Canadian Arctic air, and that is going to be combining to form the potential for significant severe weather and tornadoes. So if you live in parts of especially northeast Arkansas, take note of this severe threat. It could be very significant, and if we learned anything from yesterday's severe threat in Iowa, that we can't take very small values like these 1s or these 2s for granted. We did see tornado warnings in even parts of Illinois where they were in that slight or marginal risk, but they had a line of thunderstorms just move through, and it continued to keep pulling up that energy. We're kind of in a period of time now where these thunderstorms are going to get very intense. We're moving into that peak severe storm season, which is usually April, May, June. So we're definitely going to be looking for more tornadoes out of this system, as it is going to be closer to that Gulf energy, as well as having a lot more impact over the larger area of Arkansas. But that is all I have for today. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like, subscribing, and hitting the bell. That's all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.